Somebody said something about you last week and you are still thinking about it right now. That is the problem. That is the real problem. Not what they said, not who said it. The problem is that you gave a stranger, you gave a small person, you gave someone who will never pay your bills and never build your dreams, you gave them the keys to your mind, and they are driving around in your head rent-free. I want to talk to you today about something that will change the way you walk into a room. It will change the way you respond to people. It will change the way you carry yourself through this life. I want to teach you how to act as if nothing bothers you. And I am not talking about pretending. I am not talking about putting on a fake smile and hiding your pain. I am talking about something much deeper than that. I am talking about building a spirit that is so settled, so grounded, so rooted, that when the storms of life come, and they will come, you do not move. Are you listening to me? I said, when the storms come, you do not move. Let me start at the beginning. Let me show you where the problem really is. Because until you understand the root, you cannot cut down the tree. Every single day, human beings wake up and hand over their peace. They hand it over to a comment on social media. They hand it over to a co-worker who does not respect them. They hand it over to a family member who does not understand them. They hand it over to traffic, to the weather, to bad news on television. And by 10 o'clock in the morning, they have nothing left. They are empty. They are reactive. They are running on somebody else's agenda. Think about that for a second. You woke up this morning with power. You woke up with the ability to create, to think, to build, to decide. That is real power. And then somebody sent you a message. Somebody looked at you the wrong way. Somebody did not say good morning. And just like that, your power is gone. You spent the whole morning on anger that somebody else gave you. This is what I call giving your power away. And most people do it without even knowing. Here is the truth I need you to hear. Critics are not your problem. Small problems are not your problem. Your problem is that you have not yet learned the discipline of protecting your own peace. You have not yet learned that your reaction belongs to you, not to them. To you, the ancient wisdom says this: a man who cannot control his own spirit is like a city without walls. Think about what that means. A city without walls is open to every enemy, every thief, every storm, every attack. There is no protection. There is no boundary. And that is how most people live. Wide open. Every insult walks in. Every criticism sets up a home. Every negative word makes itself comfortable in your mind. But I am here to tell you that you can build walls. Not walls that keep people out, but walls that keep your peace in. Walls that say, I decide what gets to affect me. I decide what gets my energy. I decide what is worth my response. Are you listening to me? I said, you decide, not them. You. Now let me give you a principle that will change everything. I call it the thermostat versus the thermometer principle. And I want you to understand this. I want you to really get this in your spirit. A thermometer is a tool that reacts. You put a thermometer in a cold room and it goes down. You put it in a hot room and it goes up. It has no power of its own. It simply measures the environment around it and adjusts itself to match. That is a thermometer. It is a reactor. Now, a thermostat is completely different. A thermostat sets the temperature. You walk into a cold room and the thermostat says, no, we're going to be 72 degrees in here. And it works until the room matches what it has already decided. It does not adjust to the room. The room adjusts to it. Most people are thermometers. The environment is cold, they become cold. The environment is angry, they become angry. The environment is negative, they become negative. They are always measuring, always adjusting, always reacting. They have no set point of their own. They just become whatever surrounds them. But great people, powerful people, people who change the world, they are thermostats. They walk into a cold room and they do not become cold. They make the room warm. They walk into a negative conversation and they do not become negative. They shift the conversation. They walk into chaos and they bring order. Because they have already decided on the inside what the temperature of their life is going to be. Think about that for a second. Which one are you right now? Be honest. When someone is rude to you, do you become rude? When someone is panicking, do you panic? When the news is bad, does your whole day become bad? If the answer is yes, then right now, in this season of your life, you are living as a thermometer. You are living as a reactor. And I'm not here to judge you. I am here to call you higher. Because you were not designed to be a thermometer. You were not created to simply react to everything around you. You were built for more than that. You were built to set the temperature. You were built to be the most stable person in every room you walk into. You were built to be the eye of the storm, the calm center, the one that people look to when everything is falling apart. But you cannot be that person until you stop letting small things move you. I said, stop letting small things move you. Now, I want to talk to you about a mentality. I want to talk to you about how the lion thinks. Because there is a reason the lion is called the king of the jungle. And it is not just because of his size. It is not just because of his strength. It is because of his mentality. You see, when a dog barks at a lion, the lion does not bark back. The lion does not stop and turn around and try to explain himself to the dog. The lion does not lose sleep at night thinking about what that dog said. The lion does not gather his friends and talk about how disrespectful that dog was. The lion keeps walking because the lion knows what he is. Are you listening to me? The lion does not answer the barking dog, not because he is afraid, but because he knows the dog is beneath his response. The lion is too focused on where he is going to be distracted by someone who does not understand his assignment. This is the mentality I am asking you to build. When small people bark at you and they will bark, you do not have to answer. When critics attack you and they will attack you, do not have to respond. When jealous people try to diminish your value and they will try, you do not have to defend yourself. Because a lion does not need to convince the dog that he is a king. He already knows what he is. The problem is that most people do not know what they are. They have forgotten who they are. So every bark, every criticism, every attack makes them question themselves. Makes them stop and say, wait, am I really who I think I am? Let me stop everything and address this challenge to my identity. And that is exactly what small people want you to do. They want you to stop. They want you to get distracted. They want you to come down from your level and fight on their level. Because on their level, they can beat you. On their level, the argument, the insult, the drama that is their territory, they are comfortable there. But when you refuse to come down, when you keep walking, when you keep building, when you keep moving toward your purpose, you win. Not because you fought, but because you never stopped. I said, you never stopped. A king does not abandon his throne to argue in the streets. A king does not leave his palace to fight with every person who questions his authority. A king rules. A king builds. A king makes decisions that affect generations. And he does not have time, he does not have energy, and he does not have the right to spend his royal hours on every small conflict that comes his way. You are a king. I said, you are a king. You are royalty. And it is time you started acting like it. Now, I want to teach you something that very few people understand. I want to teach you about the law of silence. And I want you to hear this carefully because the world has lied to you about what silence means. The world has told you that silence is weakness. The world has told you that if you do not respond, it means you have nothing to say. The world has told you that if you stay quiet, people will think they have won. The world has told you that you must defend yourself every time. You must clap back. You must stand up. You must make sure people know they cannot talk to you that way. And I understand that thinking, but that thinking has kept you tired. That thinking has kept you reactive. That thinking has been costing you your energy for years. Let me tell you the truth about silence. Silence is not the absence of power. Silence is regulated power. Silence is controlled power. Silence is the decision of a person who knows their own value and does not need external validation to confirm it. Think about the ocean. The ocean is the most powerful body of water on earth. It can swallow ships. It can reshape coastlines. It can generate storms that change history, but most of the time, the ocean is calm. Most of the time, the ocean is quiet. The surface is still. The water is peaceful. Does that mean the ocean is weak? Does that mean the ocean has nothing inside it? Of course not. The ocean's calm is not emptiness. It is depth. It is restraint. It is the quiet confidence of something that knows it does not need to prove its power every single moment. That is what I want for you. I want you to have the quiet confidence of the ocean, where people look at you and see peace. And behind that peace is an immovable force that they cannot shake. Are you listening to me? The most powerful response to an insult is often no response at all. The most powerful answer to criticism is often continued excellence. The most powerful reply to those who say you cannot do it is simply doing it in silence, with focus, with consistency. When you are constantly defending yourself, you're constantly looking backward. You are spending your time and energy explaining your past instead of creating your future. You are fighting yesterday's battles instead of winning tomorrow's victories. But when you are silent, when you are focused, when you refuse to be pulled into the drama, you are free. You are free to build. You are free to grow. You are free to become everything you were designed to be. Silence is not losing. Silence is choosing to win on a different level, a higher level, the level where distractions cannot follow. I said silence is not losing. Silence is winning on a higher level. Now, I know some of you are saying, but Dr. Munroe, it is not that easy. You do not know what people have said about me. You do not know how deep those words went. You do not know how hard it is to just let things go when they hurt. And you're right. I hear you. This is not easy. Nothing worth having is easy. But I want to give you something practical. I want to give you 5 steps that you can use starting today, not tomorrow, not next week, starting right now. 5 steps to help you stay calm in a chaotic world. Step number 1, know your identity before you leave your house. This is the foundation of everything. Every other step rests on this one. If you do not know who you are, then everything people say about you becomes a possible truth. Every criticism becomes a potential verdict on your worth. Every negative word gets inside because you have not already filled that space with something solid. You must build your identity before the world gets to it. You must know your value before anyone tells you what you are worth. Every morning before you face the world, you need to remind yourself of who you are. Not what you have, not what you have done, not what people say about you, who you are. Because your identity is not built on your job. Your identity is not built on how many followers you have. Your identity is not built on whether people like you or approve of you. Your identity is built on something deeper than all of that. It is built on your purpose. It is built on your design. It is built on the unique assignment that only you were made to carry. When you know that, when you really know that, then someone's opinion of you becomes just an opinion, not a verdict, not a fact. An opinion from someone who does not know your full story. So every morning, I want you to speak to yourself. Say out loud who you are. Say out loud what you are worth. Say out loud what you are building and why. Fill yourself up before the world gets a chance to pour anything in. Step number 2, create a pause between stimulus and response. This is where freedom lives. Right here in the pause. When something happens to you, when someone insults you, when something goes wrong, when you get bad news, your first reaction is automatic. It happens without thinking. It is your nervous system responding to a threat. And that automatic reaction is almost always emotional, almost always reactive, and almost always not your best response. The pause is where you take back control. The pause is where you move from reacting to choosing. It is where you move from being a thermometer to being a thermostat. It can be one breath. It can be a walk to get some water. It can be excusing yourself from the room for 5 minutes. But in that pause, you ask yourself one question. You ask, is this worth my energy? Is this small thing worth the peace I am about to spend on it? Most of the time, the answer is no. Most of the time, the thing that was about to ruin your day is something you will not even remember in 6 months. The pause helps you see that. The pause gives you perspective, and perspective changes everything. Step number 3, guard your environment ruthlessly. I want you to hear this. You cannot maintain a calm spirit in a constantly chaotic environment. You cannot build a strong mind if everything around you is pulling it down. You cannot grow if everything you watch, everything you listen to, and everyone you spend time with is feeding you fear, negativity, and small thinking. You have to be ruthless about what you allow into your space. Not selfish, ruthless. There is a difference. Being selfish is only caring about yourself. Being ruthless about your environment is protecting the assignment inside you. It is recognizing that you are carrying something too important to let it be destroyed by toxic inputs. Look at what you watch every day. Look at who you talk to every day. Look at what you listen to every day. And ask yourself, is this feeding me or draining me? Is this adding to me or subtracting from me? Is this making me stronger or making me weaker? And then make changes, not tomorrow, now. Because every day you spend in a toxic environment is a day your potential is being eroded. Every day you fill your mind with negative content is a day your peace is being borrowed and not returned. The people who act as if nothing bothers them have usually spent years building an environment that does not create unnecessary disturbances. They have set boundaries. They have limited certain relationships. They have been intentional about what gets their attention and what does not. This is not about being arrogant. This is not about being better than anyone. This is about being a good steward of the gift that is inside you. Step number 4, find meaning in difficulty. This step will transform your relationship with pain, and I need you to really sit with this one. When difficult things happen, and they will happen, loss, failure, betrayal, disappointment, your first question cannot be, why is this happening to me? That question will keep you stuck. That question is a thermometer question. It measures the temperature of the pain and just reports back how bad it feels. Instead, I want you to ask a different question. I want you to ask, what is this teaching me? What is this building in me? What is this preparing me for? Because nothing you go through is wasted. Nothing. Every hard season, every difficult person, every painful experience is working something in you that could not be built any other way. Patience cannot be taught in a comfortable room. Strength cannot be developed without resistance. Wisdom cannot be gained without experience. And experience means going through things, real things, hard things, things that test you. The people who act as if nothing bothers them are not people who have never been hurt. They are people who have decided that their pain is not stronger than their purpose. They are people who have looked at every difficult thing in their life and said, this is making me ready. I do not know what it is making me ready for, but I trust the process. When you find meaning in difficulty, the difficulty loses its power over you. It becomes a tool instead of a tormentor. It becomes your teacher instead of your enemy. And that shift, that simple but profound shift in perspective, is what allows you to walk through storms with your head held high. Step number 5, be more committed to your future than to your feelings. This is the final step, and it might be the most important one. Write this down. Be more committed to your future than to your feelings. Feelings are real. I am not dismissing your feelings. Pain is real. Anger is real. Hurt is real. But feelings are also temporary. They come and they go. They rise and they fall. And if you make every major decision based on how you feel in the moment, you will spend your whole life being led by a compass that changes direction every few hours. Successful people, grounded people, people who seem unshakable, they have made a decision. They have decided that their future is more important than their feelings in this moment. They have decided that the vision they are building is worth more than the reaction they want to have right now. So when someone offends you, the question is not how do I feel right now? The question is, if I react the way I want to react right now, will it serve my future? If I say what I want to say right now, will it build what I am trying to build? If I let this moment take me off course, what will it cost me 5 years from now? Because every decision you make is either an investment in your future or a withdrawal from it. And reacting to every small thing is a withdrawal. Every argument is a withdrawal. Every sleepless night spent thinking about what someone said is a withdrawal. Every day you spend in bitterness instead of building is a withdrawal. And you have a destiny to fund, you have a purpose to pursue, you have a future to build, and you cannot afford to keep spending on things that do not matter. So you close your mouth, you take a breath, you choose your future over your feelings, and you keep moving. I said, you keep moving. Let me pull everything together now. Let me bring it all home. You started listening to this message because something is bothering you. Maybe it is a person, maybe it is a situation, maybe it is a pattern in your life where you keep getting pulled off course by things that are too small to deserve your attention. And something in you recognized that there is a better way. That is why you are still here. The better way is not pretending nothing hurts. The better way is not building walls so high that nothing can reach you. The better way is not becoming cold or distant or emotionally unavailable. None of that is what I am teaching you today. What I am teaching you is mastery, self-mastery, the mastery of your own inner world, the ability to feel something and still choose your response, the ability to be shaken on the outside and still be stable on the inside, the ability to walk through fire and come out not smelling like smoke. This is what the great ones have always had. This is the secret behind every person you have ever admired for their calm. They were not born that way. They built it. Day by day, decision by decision, choice by choice. Every time they chose their purpose over their pain. Every time they chose silence over an argument they could have won. Every time they chose to keep walking when the dogs were barking, they were building it. And you can build it too. Are you listening to me? You can build it too. You are not too emotional. You are not too sensitive. You are not too far gone. You simply have not yet committed to this level of discipline. But discipline is not a gift. Discipline is a decision. And you can make that decision right now, today. In this moment, I want to talk to you about destiny for a moment. Because this is not just about staying calm. This is about what your calm makes possible. Every great thing in history was built by people who refused to be distracted. Every great movement was led by someone who was too focused on the vision to be pulled into every small conflict along the way. Every great life was built by someone who learned, sometimes through years of painful trial and error, that their peace was too valuable to keep giving it away. Your destiny is real. It is not a fantasy. It is not a daydream. It is a real assignment on your life. A real contribution that only you can make. A real impact that the world is waiting for. But that destiny requires your focus. It requires your energy. It requires your full attention. And you cannot give it your full attention if you keep spending your attention on things that do not deserve it. Every time you choose not to react, you are choosing your destiny. Every time you choose silence over drama, you are choosing your destiny. Every time you walk away from an argument you could have won, you are choosing your destiny. Every time you speak kindly to yourself instead of tearing yourself down, you are choosing your destiny. Every time you get up after a fall, dust yourself off, and keep building, you are choosing your destiny. Think about that for a second. I want to close with this. There is a version of you that is fully developed, a version of you that is unshakable, a version of you that walks into a room and shifts the atmosphere, a version of you that speaks and people feel the weight of your words, a version of you that has seen hard things, been through real pain, faced real opposition, and came through it all with your joy still intact, your purpose still clear, and your fire still burning. That version of you exists. It is not a fantasy. It is where you are going. It is who you are becoming. And the road from where you are now to where that version of you lives is paved with small daily decisions to choose your future over your feelings, to choose your purpose over your pain, to choose your peace over the cheap satisfaction of a reaction. The world needs the fully developed version of you, not the reactive version, not the distracted version, not the version that gets stopped every few weeks by a comment or a criticism or a setback. The world needs the version of you that has learned what we talked about today. The version that knows their identity. The version that creates the pause. The version that guards their environment. The version that finds meaning in difficulty. The version that is more committed to their future than to their feelings in this moment. That is who you are becoming, starting today, starting right now. So let me say this to close. You are not a thermometer, you are a thermostat. You set the temperature. You are not a dog that barks at every passing car. You are a lion. And a lion knows when to walk, when to be silent, and when to move with full authority. Act like nothing bothers you. Not because nothing does, but because you have decided that your peace is more valuable than your reaction. Because you have decided that your destiny is worth more than your drama. Because you have decided that from this day forward, you will not give the keys of your mind to anyone who has not earned the right to sit behind the wheel. You are not bothered. I said you are not bothered. You are building. You are growing. You are walking in purpose, in peace, and in power. And nobody, no critic, no enemy, no small voice, no big problem, nobody can stop what God put inside you from coming out. Now walk in that. Live in that. Build in that. And whatever you do, do not stop walking.